Sit back, relax and enjoy listening. RK sat at his desk, running his hand through his hair as frustration built inside him. The memory of the girl's words and John's betrayal during the fire lingered in his mind, like pieces of a puzzle that refused to fit. Jill walked in with his usual bright energy, holding 2 cups of coffee. RK, you look like you're carrying the weight of the world. What's up? RK sighed, taking the coffee Jill offered but not drinking it. It's about John. And something a girl told me last night. Jill pulled up a chair, his curiosity instantly piqued. A girl? Now this sounds interesting. Tell me everything. RK explained the encounter, how he met the girl randomly on the road, her story about being humiliated by a famous reporter, and the unsettling similarities between her description of the reporter and John's actions. Jill listened carefully, his expression serious. When RK finished, Jill leaned forward. So, you think this reporter she mentioned might actually be John? I don't know, RK admitted. It could be anyone. But what if it's him? And even if it's not? Do you have her number? Jill asked. RK shook his head. No, we didn't exchange numbers. I don't even know her name. She just said she worked for a media company. Jill smirked. Well, that narrows it down to 1,000 people. Not helping, RK muttered. Jill chuckled and patted RK's shoulder. Relax, brother. Just tell me everything you remember about her. It'll make it easier for me to find her. RK thought for a moment, then started describing her. She said she's from a small village. She mentioned something about an incident that happened to her. Something no one else knows about. She seemed determined, like someone who's been through a lot but refuses to back down. Jill nodded, taking mental notes. Anything else? What did she look like? She was in simple clothes, nothing flashy. Dark hair tied back. And she seemed young, maybe in her early 20s. That's all I've got, RK said, feeling a bit useless. Jill grinned. That's enough. Leave it to me. He pulled out his phone and dialed a number. Who are you calling? RK asked. My guy. Let's just say he has a way of knowing who's who in the media world, Jill replied with a wink. RK watched as Jill spoke into the phone, describing the girl in detail. Yeah, small village background. She's probably in her early 20s, works at a media company. And there might be some personal incident she mentioned. Can you find out who she is? It's important. Jill hung up after a brief exchange and turned to RK with a confident smile. He's on it. Give him an hour. True to his word, Jill's contact called back within the hour. Got her, Jill said after hanging up. She works at the same media company where John used to work. And good news, she's agreed to meet us. RK blinked in surprise. That fast? And she agreed. She's probably curious, Jill said with a shrug. I told her you had some questions about what she mentioned last night. She didn't seem surprised. Just said she'd meet us at a coffee shop near her office. RK nodded, a mix of relief and anxiety washing over him. All right, let's go. At the coffee shop. The coffee shop was buzzing with chatter, but at the small corner table where RK, Jill, and the girl sat, an intense silence hung between them. RK took a moment to steady himself before speaking. Thank you for coming, RK started, his voice calm but weighted with curiosity. I don't want to waste your time, so I'll get straight to the point. Last night, you told me about a reporter who humiliated you. I need to know, was it John? The girl's expression didn't falter. She looked directly at RK, her gaze unwavering. Yes, she said simply. It was John. RK leaned back in his chair, trying to make sense of the pieces. Can you tell me exactly what happened? I need to understand. The girl placed her cup down, her fingers grazing the rim. Her voice was soft, but carried a weight that silenced the air around them. I was terrified. He held all the power. And I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe my career and my dignity are gone forever. But then she walked in, and everything changed. SV came to our office, directly into the studio where John was conducting an interview. The cameras were rolling, the crew was there. Everyone was watching. Jill raised an eyebrow, leaning forward. What did she do? When SV entered the room, she didn't hesitate. Her steps were purposeful, her expression cold as steel. She didn't raise her voice, didn't make a scene. She simply acted. And everyone around her fell silent, like they instinctively knew not to challenge her authority. She walked straight up to John and slapped him. Hard. The kind of slap you don't forget. The entire room froze. Before anyone could say a word, she threw a resignation letter at him. Already signed by management. Jill's brow furrowed. No explanations? Nothing. She didn't need to explain, the girl replied. John was stunned. He tried to bargain, begged her to reconsider. He even fell to his knees, promising to delete everything, to make it right. But she just shoved him off and tried to slap him again, but Jill exhaled sharply, shaking his head in disbelief. But RK's voice was calm as he recalled the first time he encountered SV. The moment everything began. His eyes lowered, and his tone was filled with regret. I stopped her. She nodded. You grabbed her hand just as she was about to slap him again. That's why I told you the story last night. Because you didn't even know the real reason behind SV's actions. No one did. The girl took a deep breath. SV made him delete the photos and videos. But SV didn't just stop there. She instructed our higher management that if even a whisper of this incident leaked outside the office, they'd be out of a job before the day ended. She made sure the story never left those walls. RK's jaw tightened. But the media, they twisted it. The girl's eyes darkened, a hint of frustration surfacing. They assumed she did it because John was writing against her. They painted her as someone who silences her critics. But that was never the case. If she wanted to remove him for that, she would have done it long before, even when she didn't know me. Instead, she stayed silent and didn't do anything to him. Jill's voice softened. And she never revealed your story? The girl shook her head. Never. Even when the media dragged her through the mud, questioned her integrity, and made it look like a personal vendetta, she didn't say a word. She let them tarnish her name to protect mine. RK's chest tightened. She put her own reputation on the line. For me, the girl continued, her voice trembling. She didn't just save my life, RK. She saved my dignity. And she did it knowing she would never get anything in return. Knowing the world would only hate her more for using her power, without ever understanding the real reason behind it. But I think at least, you should know the truth. You need to understand what happened that day. SV didn't act out of malice. She acted because she had no choice. She protected me even when the world would have condemned her for it. You probably misunderstood her, RK. But now that I have the chance, I want you to know why she did it. You deserve to understand the real reason, especially since she's your wife. I don't have the courage, nor do I think it's right to reveal this to the world after everything she's done to keep it hidden and protect her reputation. But you, RK, at least deserve to know. And since I have this moment, I need to tell you.